All right, come, let us start with the talk on the samatha jhanas. So the day we have not finished everything on the samatha jhana, and we're going to go to that samatha jhana again, and then we're going to look into it, and then after that, we're going to talk a little bit more further on what the samatha jhana can do, and so on. Then after that, we only go into the vipassana type of concentration. We better share the screen. Okay. Okay. Now, this is the last week we talk about the different types of the 40 types of meditation. And with the 40 types of meditation, you have preliminary concentration, excess concentration, absorption concentration. And then the sign here is like preliminary sign, learning sign. Then you have counterpart sign. And then whether you have first jhana to fifth jhana, or first jhana only, or first jhana to this jhana. It's quite a bit of, you got to really, you got to understand it theoretically, although that you may not be able to do everything, but at least we know a little bit of it. So as I said, this samatha jhana and samatha development and its jhana, they have quite a different way of development, and some can reach the first jhana only, some cannot reach the jhana, some can reach the first jhana until the fourth jhana, and some can reach until, or the third jhana, especially like in the this one, the loving kindness, compassion. So this one we put it aside. At least we understand that. Now the thing is that this entering into the jhana, they are also similar, like as I said, they are similar like the insight that we talked before during in the third noble truth. That when we enter into, when you want to see the path and fruition, then it has to go through the process, a mental process, a process that before the VA here, vibrating Vabhanga and arresting Bhavanga, then before that is what you see, the anicca, dukkha, or anatta. So you take one of it, and then it becomes what we call the triple door of liberation. Then that is to say that whether you take impermanence, whether you take dukkha, or you take anatta as your at that time when you perceive it, then when it goes into, then after that vibrating, then after that the whole thing will stop because it's called an arresting. Then it starts with the mind door averting consciousness, and then it go on, and then after that path and friction arises. Okay, path and friction arises. That is for vipassana. Now when it comes to samatha, also the same thing. When it comes to samatha, you see the VA here. Okay, now before the VA here is where you see the nimitta. You see the counterpart nimitta. If you are doing, say, for example, if you are doing anapanasati, and your nimitta becomes absolutely very clear, then after that, it goes into vibrating bhavanga. Then after that, arresting bhavanga, stop the process. Then it goes into the mind door adverting, parikama, and all that thing. And then it comes only for one consciousness of jhana. One consciousness of jhana, if you are entering it for the first time, and then after that, then it drops into bhavanga. So when you are in first time in jhana, you don't last long. Just like that day I mentioned also, when you enter into the first time as a sotapanna, first time you get the path and friction of a Sotapanna, then also you don't last long. You already go back into Bhavanga. In order for you to able to enter again into the friction consciousness, you have to see anicca, dukkha, anatta again. Then after that, you build it up until the friction consciousness become more and more and more and more and more. So do the same thing in jhana also. So the first time you enter, don't worry about whether it's average or keen faculties of the mind. So what is important here is that when you enter the first time, you cannot last long, but you will drop into Bhavanga. So when you drop into Bhavanga, what do you do again? And the same thing, you go into the nimitta again, and you hold on to the nimitta, then you cultivate it again. You do it again until you can able to stay with the jhana for a longer period of time. And then the jhana will become like JH, not dropping into Bhavanga, or not getting out of the jhana. So the process is similar. It's just that they are different consciousness. Of course, it's a different object right now. Then here now the thing is that sometimes you may hear some teachers may mention that when you comes into this jhana, all right, when it comes into this level of this jhana, and then sometimes teacher says that at this jhana level, you may not hear anything at all. That means your senses may not be, your sense consciousness are not effective, because jhana consciousness is different from a central consciousness or sense consciousness. Because at that day, as I said, that there is a change of lineage here. A change of lineage, a CH here, the CH, the CH here, the change of consciousness. And then, as I said, they're changing from a central consciousness into a fine material consciousness to rupa chitta. So it is said that you may not able to hear. So sometimes yogis tend to use that as their yardstick to see that whether they already enter into jhana or not. They use that as a yardstick. Well, should it be a yardstick that to kind of like to confirm that whether you are in the jhana? Well, it is, I think it is not a very good yardstick. It's not a very good yardstick because there's a certain explanation for it. Okay. Now, when you enter the first time into the jhana, or second time or third time, because you are still very new to the jhana, when you enter it, then yes, you may not able to hear anything much. Your sense, your sound and everything, sight, even at that time, if you were to open your eyes to meditate, let's say, and then you enter into jhana, then the eyes, will not able to capture the consciousness, but only lights only is entering into the eye, but no consciousness. So in that sense, other words, you may not see, you may not hear, you may not taste, you may not touch, and so on. So, as I said, that is the first few times when you enter into jhana. Now, subsequently, when you begin to able to go in again and again, and you can able to emerge from the jhana, and in and out, you become more familiarized with the jhana. Then that time, the mind changes more, faster, and you are more your mind is much more flexible during this time. Then you can able to enter, and then after that you can come out very short while, enter again, short while, come out a bit, short while, enter again, short while. And then as if like while you're entering a jhana, then you can still hear background noise or background sound, although it may not disturb you. So you can able to happen in that way if a yogi is quite mastery in the jhana, in that sense. So while you're in the jhana consciousness, then there is none. But when you just slightly you come out of it into bhavanga a little bit, then you can able to have some consciousness that is connecting right now to it. Because the mind can fluctuate very fast. The mind can fluctuate very fast. So when you are good at it, it may not, that the sound may not be good for a yardstick, whether you are in the jhana or not. Why is it so? Why is it so that like that? When the first time you enter, and then subsequently other times it may not be so. This one, it all depends on the. It depends on the strength of the concentration. Now, the first time you enter, now it's like this. Just to give you an example, it's like this. When the first time you enter jhana, it's like the first time, like you able to carry weight, a certain weight. Let's say the weight is 50 kilogram, 50 kilogram. And then, initially you cannot able to carry that 50 kilogram. So you train and train and train. And then after that, you can able to, first time when you can able to carry, you see that when the first time you can able to do it, your mind and your concentration is totally focused into it. You don't hear anything outside also actually during that time. Your mind is just, and your body is just totally with lifting up that 50 kg. But after a while, you can train and train, your muscles become stronger and all that. Then that time, you can just carry up quite easily. Then you can still able to look around what is going on beside you. And then the weight is still the same, but because your body and your mind and especially your body here has developed certain amount of its strength, and then he can able to lift it up quite easily. Then he don't have to struggle like the first time that he has to do it. So to the jhana also the same thing. So to the jhana, same thing. The first time, as if when you reach it, it's like you are trying to reach the peak. Struggle, and then you try to reach the peak. But subsequently, when you're able to do it, then you can able to just reach it very easily. Just like you're carrying the weight. So too for the vipassana also the same. For the path and fruition also the same thing. When the first time when you reach path and fruition, because it's a fixed concentration, you also don't hear much of everything. But subsequently, when you're later on, perhaps can, because of the mind can come out from it, enter, come out and enter. But of course, if on other occasions, if your concentration is strong and well balanced, then that time you can able to last the jhana for a longer period of time. Then you may not able to hear anything much. If your concentration is strong. For some people, the concentration is not so strong. Then sometimes the jhana, it can come out and enter, come out and enter, come out and enter, come out and enter. Especially when you're doing this path of fruition or jhana in the everyday situation, when you're not in a retreat, when you got all kinds of things and so on, then when you enter into these things, then because of there's no continuity of practice, then the jhana or the fruition consciousness that you go in a bit, come out a bit, go in a bit, come out a bit, go in a bit, come out a bit, go in a bit, come out a bit. And because of the mindfulness and other things are not continuous. But when you are in the retreat time, then it's a different ball game altogether. Because if you are continuous mindfulness, then the jhana have a longer period, and you can able to enter into the jhana for a longer period. And at that time, you can able to feel the calm, the peace, and the quietness of the mind. So that is, different people have a different way of entering into jhana. Even one person, depending on how you practice, also the jhana also can look a bit different in that sense. So this is something on the jhana. So next thing is this, because we are still in the samatha jhana, it's not like fruition consciousness or path consciousness. Path consciousness, fruition consciousness, they don't have a rebirth. You don't have to worry. But the jhana here, they still got effect. They still got a rebirth to go through. Yeah? They still got a rebirth to go through. Now, every time you enter the first jhana or second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, fifth jhana, sixth jhana, seventh jhana, eighth jhana, it will go through this process, mental absorption process, from vibrating bhavanga, arresting bhavanga, mind diverting, and so on, until jhana. Now, can this consciousness be seen by the yogi? Can this consciousness one by one can be seen by the yogi? Just like that time we talk about also, can the path and fruition consciousness, before that, all this conformity consciousness, change of lineage consciousness, can it be seen by the yogi? Yes, it can be seen by the yogis, but not all yogis. Yogis with, especially with the wisdom factor, if their wisdom factor is sharp enough, then they can see this mind or diverting consciousness, preparation consciousness, access consciousness, and so on. All this consciousness they can see one by one until they enter into a jhana consciousness. So it all depends on the quality of the mental factor. How strong is that wisdom factor? So if you can able to see this thing, then it's one of the very good yardstick that you can able to at least know that whether you are in jhana or not. So this is one of the thing. Now, with this jhana, then many times that we can also know that the jhana has a different, you have a different qualities of the jhana. Then you have vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata. We talk about this vitaka sometime, as the initial application, vichara as sustained application, piti as rapture or joy, sukha as bliss or mental pleasant feelings, and ekagata is the one-pointedness or concentration here. Now, so coming out for the first jhana, then it is said that you have these 5 factors. Coming out from the second jhana, then you have 3 factors. Coming out from the third jhana, you have these 2 factors. Coming out on the 4th jhana, under the 8th jhana, then you have these 2 factors, ekagata and upeka. Upeka here means equanimity. Again here, these 5 factors, or so, or 3 or 2, it's not as easy to be seen at all. It's not as easy just because you come out from the jhana that you can able to see all these 5 factors. It needs again a wisdom factor to be strong and powerful, that you can able to differentiate each and every factor that is one after another. And it's not easy. It's not easy. You have to train unless your wisdom factor is sharp enough. Then you can able to cut from which one is vitaka, which one is vichara. Some people I've seen, some people thought that you come up automatically, you have all these 5 already. Now, yes, automatically you have all these 5, but whether you can see them or not, whether you can able to differentiate them or not, or able to discern them or not, that is another thing. That is another thing. So it needs that. It needs that wisdom factor, and then also the wisdom factor, even it doesn't work before you gain jhana. Also, the wisdom factor also helps you to discern which one is a learning nimitta, which one is a counterpart nimitta. If you are good at it, the wisdom factor also can able to cut it through, and then he knows that that type is learning, that type is counterpart. But in the beginning part, you are still not everything is not clear. Until you keep on trying until your mind is sharp and clear. Now, so you have first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, which is the rupa jhana. And then after that you have fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Then you have this arupa jhana, non-immaterial jhana. Material jhana, immaterial jhana. Okay? Now, when you are good in one jhana, that means good means you can able to enter whenever you want to. Then you can able to stay inside there as you make your aditana before that. You make an aditana, how long you want to stay. Let's say 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes or later longer, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, up to you. So you make the aditana to stay. So then you have to learn to emerge from it, to get out from it. And then you also learn to review the different factors. So you do it again and again and again and again and again, and all these things. Enter, come out, review, enter, say, review, and so on. Then you begin to master that particular jhana. That you master that particular jhana. Okay? Now, before we talk about the mastery here, since we already touched on it a little bit. Now, if you want from the first jhana, you want to go into the second jhana, and the third and the fourth and so on. What should you do again? Now, the first jhana that you already attained and you already able to master that jhana, you do it until you find that that it's enough, I wouldn't say bored, but I say it's enough. because after a while, when you get so used to it, then you want slightly more challenging things. Then here you don't want to go into the first jhana. Now again, you take up the learning sign or the counterpart sign of that particular jhana, and then you stay together. You stay to learn that the jhana, and then you stay with it and until it become very clear, and then again it goes into the second. Then it goes into the second jhana. Until you repeat the second jhana again and again and again until you are mastery in the second jhana, and you come out. Then you don't want to go in again. Then you want to go into the third jhana, and then you go to the same process until the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 jhana. All right. So let's say you are able to do that. Now you can able to do first jhana, and let's say until fourth jhana will do. Don't worry about the immaterial jhana yet. Let's say you want the first 4 jhana. Now the first 4 jhana, let's say you are good at it. So now let's look at number 2 first. Number 2 is the attainment. That means the ability to enter the jhanas in quick succession. Different jhanas in quick succession. That means you enter here. Enter, that means you enter into the jhana. Don't worry about different jhana yet. You can able to enter into the jhana. Resolution, that means you can able to remain in the jhana. Emergence, that means you can come out of it quickly. Review means you review the mental factors. Now the first one is tricky. The first one is tricky. The second, third, fourth, fifth, this one you can do it in your single jhana that you can be able to do. The first one is a bit tricky. Now, let's say you want to advert or jump to a different jhana by changing the mental factors. Say you can do this first jhana, second jhana, third, and fourth. All right? You can do 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, let's say you want to do first jhana already for 15 minutes. Then after that, you want to jump to the third jhana. You want to skip the second jhana. So what do? You got to get rid of the mental factors there. Then you say the vitaka, vichara, and piti also, you must able to remove them with the sukha and ekagata only, with the sukha and ekagata, and then take the this one, go into the third jhana. Yeah? That means your mind must be so flexible that you can able to switch the mind, the mental states to what you want. Or let's say if you're from the fourth jhana, and then you want to go back to the first jhana immediately, then you've got to expand the mental factors, and you've got to bring those mental factors to come in again, and then after that you enter into the first jhana again. So the ability to advert or jump the different jhana, then that one is a bit tricky. That means you must be very good in understanding of the different mental factors to bring into that particular state so that you can able to enter into those jhana. So ability to enter a jhana, some people have ability to change, to advert into it, but entering to that particular jhana, it's not so mastery. It kind of like you are at the doorstep, but you cannot enter it that well. So you must train some more until you're able to master it. Then to remain the jhana, then you must able to make the adhitthana, or how long you want to stay in those jhana. Then you make that adhitthana and then you stay with it. Then when you want to emerge, then you emerge quickly from it. Then after that, hold on, what's something? From that onwards, wait, hold on. Hey, can you all hear me or not, actually? Can, somebody says here, cannot hear. Never mind. In the chat there. So you must able to emerge quickly. That means quickly, that means you can able to emerge out, then quickly enter into another jhana or enter into the same jhana again. Then you must able to review those factors. So you hit the jhana, you think that you will touch the first jhana, but there are so many things that you still have to do, actually. Right? So the mastery of this jhana, when you are good at this jhana, then this mastery of this jhana is one of the purpose is to build up into the supernormal powers. You want to build up into the supernormal power. If you really mad over these things, you mad over number 6 is okay. But if you mad over number 1 to number 5, then it'll be a big problem. Because nowadays, these supernormal powers, maybe people like this Superman or Batman or Iron Man, nowadays all the movie is crazy over this special power and all that, Anyway, this supernormal powers is that you have to master it in your jhana. Okay, one thing, those jhana. And this mastery is 1, 2, 3, 4, not the 5, 6, 7, 8, not the arupa jhana. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4 that you got to be mastery of this 4 arupa jhana. 4 rupa jhana, 4 material. The first 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to have supernormal powers, you have to mastery into that. And then, also the next criteria is that you also must be good in your quite a number of your jhana meditation, like for example, like this thing, here. Okay, the kasina here, you got to able to master all the kasina. You got to master all the kasina, and then you got to master some more. A few things I forgot. I think one of it is the breath, something like that. Something like this. You got to able to master those kasina already. That means here about, let's say earth kasina, you got 4. Let's say you got 4 four from the sutta perspective. You got 4 jhanas. Water, you got 4 jhanas. So over here, you got 40 jhana for you to do already. So you must be good in it. Not only good in it, you have to be able to master in it. Then perhaps, then you can have this, this supernormal powers, this abhinya. Yeah? So number 1 to number 5, because of that, they are good at it. But these are still mundane. Mundane means, well, you can still have a rebirth to go through. So the first one is this psychic powers. Psychic powers here means you can able to be like Superman, you know. This one is better than Superman because this one, you can go inside the earth, then you can come out somewhere. Or you can go through the wall, and then you can come out somewhere. You can able to fly in the sky, you know, something like this, you know. Or you can be also like 1, then you can make yourself into 2 or 3. Or you can have 1, or you can make yourself into many. These are psychic powers. So as I said, sometimes, as I said, you may not know that whether I'm the one who's sitting here or not, because the real me is maybe in my room, you know, shaking legs. And then I just create a nimitta for you all to see only. Also possible, you know? But here, as I said, I'm real here. So this is psychic power. Yeah? Divine ear means that you can able to hear things very far away, and also you can able to hear the devas talking and so on. Yeah? Penetration of the mind of others. Here you may able to know whether the person's mind is able to feel with greed or feel with hatred or non-greed, non-hatred, and so on. You know, penetration of the mind also, it all depends on how you look at certain things. You see, some of the penetration of the mind also, like in the sutta is mentioned that some monks can able to know another monk, whether that monk the other monk is already enlightened or not, by seeing into the what are defilements already eradicated or not eradicated. So you can able to penetrate the mind of others in certain sense, in that sense. Because finally, you see, whether it's your mind or others' mind or one's body or another body, that is irrelevant. Because mental states, after all, there are 4 elements, or 4 elements. Whether this body element or your body element, they are only elements only. Whether it's your chitta or chittasika or mental factors, or whether it's yours or them or another one, is irrelevant. So you can able, for example, when you meditate, your mind can able to note your own mind. You can note your state of your mind, whether it's hatred or whether it's greed that arises. You can able to do that. So too, if you just forget about whether it's yours and him or her, then it's just another mind. Then your mind can able to take another mind or not. And then there's another. If you have that ability, if you have that ability, you can able to know that whether the person's mind is enlightened or not. By going seeing into its level of defilements as eradicated or not eradicated, then you can able to know whether the person is eradicated or not. So the teacher may be very far from you, it doesn't matter. But the teacher knows that whether you are already enlightened or not, or you're not enlightened, or even if the teacher wants to, they can able to know whether which insight that you are in or which jhana that you are in also. Yeah. So perhaps there are people who can able to do that. Yeah? So penetration on the mind of others. Number 4, remembrance of former existences. Then this one is that you can able to know your past lives. Not only just this life, but going to past life. And then this remembrance of the existence and so on. And that one, it also depending on how strong these supernormal powers. That means, that is to say, some people can recall like 5 lives, some people are able to go to 10 lives, some people can recall an eon or 2 eons, and for the Buddha is unlimited. Even for Sariputta, Venerable Sariputta, and also Moggallana, they are also limited, but very limited in the sense that, but it's still very, very, very long, but it's still limited. Divine eye here means that you can able to see a few things. One is that you can able to see the actions of a person has done, or the speech or the thoughts, and then what is the corresponding effect, or what is the corresponding rebirth that is taking place for that particular person or that particular being, because of the divine eye. So sometimes how come we in the suttas and in the text that you read now, sometimes you can see that how come the monks can talk about in the future what, or in the past what this person has done this and that, and then what is the effect because of that. They can able to see because of the divine eye. So this is divine eye. They can able to see into the karmic effect of others, and also divine eye. Also, of course, you can able to see the devas, and because of the effect, you can see the devas, the hell beings, and so on. Those beings that not in our normal eye they cannot see. Of course, the 6th one is the best. The 6 ones belong to the vipassana. Now, this is the vipassana, and you attain until the arahantship. Then this is extinction of all cankers of asaya kaya. Then that one is the supernormal powers. Okay, so these are the highest you can go. But the jhana here, again, we are still in the jhana, because the jhana has the effect in the rebirth. We got to touch a little bit on it also, because if we don't touch on the effect, then it's only a cause only, and then we don't touch on the effect also, it's not right. So we need to go back to the diagram last time I gave you before. This one, this is the Brahma realm. You see the number 12, number 12 here. All right, I'll make it a bit. Now number 12 here, 13, 14, this is the first jhana plane. That means if you die with the first jhana, then you reborn here. Then you have second jhana, again you have this one, three level, 3 planes. Then you have the third jhana, also you have 3 planes. Then the 4th jhana is a bit tricky. This is talking about samatha practitioner only. Now, if you have a 4th jhana, then you only have 1 plane of existence. If this is number 21, if your mind is normal, then you only go into 21. 22, number 22, mindless devas. Also, they attain the 4th jhana. But this one, on a certain level of the 4th jhana, they completely get rid of the mind. And it means they push the mind out, something like that. They push the mind out to make the whole mind blank. And then they also reborn. With that, they enter into the 4th jhana. With that, if they are keen into it, then they reborn in the 22, the mindless jhana. The next 5 jhana here, the next 5, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, this belongs to the non-returner, anagami. So that one we already talked about it already. Now, what I'm interested here is this, to this one, is that, so when you are in the first jhana, how are you going to determine which level of rebirth that you're going to go through if after you die? So either whether it's number 12, 13, or 14, which one if you have the first jhana? Now then is the quality of the jhana. The quality of the jhana here, it means let's say you take metta, because metta is easier to understand. if you have metta and you're able to attain the first jhana of metta, you can able to enter into the jhana of the metta. If, let's say, you take, may I be well and happy, may I be free from, and then you can able to enter jhana with that yourself. With yourself, you can able to enter the jhana. Okay? Now, and then the more other beings, you have a difficulty of able to enter the jhana, but only for yourself only. Once you're able to take up yourself, your mind becomes very calm and very clear, and then you can able to enter into jhana. Okay? Now, another yogi, then he practiced this metta. Then he practiced metta. For example, may all the beings around me, or may all the beings in this country, for example, or in the world, for example, all beings in this world, that may they all be free from all kinds of harm and danger. And then he or she can able to enter jhana with ease using that way. But for oneself may not be so good. But he enter it with the world, then it's quite good. Then again here, it's another yogi. Then he can able to enter the jhana with he or she can take up may all beings without exception. All beings, whether it's Brahma beings or hell beings or human beings or Deva beings, whichever beings that there are, without exception, all the metta is spread and touch them. And he able to enter the jhana with that mindset, with that set of the all for all beings. So you have the three different levels. Now, therefore, when the jhana takes effect after you die, and you can, let's say you can able to maintain them, and then until you die. Then here, if you only take for yourself, then you only comes up to number 12 for yourself. And then intermediate, that means you can take over all beings, as all beings in this world. Then because it's a wider scope, then the jhana goes into number 13. Then if you can have 14, that means you can able to take all beings without exception. But you only had the first jhana. All right? So that's why the quality of the jhana or the quality of the nimitta also in a way affect the rebirth consciousness in the future. So too, like in the second jhana, like also in the third jhana also. In the fourth jhana, when you come to equanimity, it's all the same. There's no differentiation anymore. Everything from equanimity onwards, from 21 onwards, even though you go into arupa jhana, also the same thing, like 28, 29, 30, 31, all the arupa jhana, also the same. They only have one level only. But in the lower planes, in the lower jhana, then you have three different, this one, because of its quality and so on. Or quality of the meditation, or quality of the samatha object or nimitta here. Okay? Then again, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say you have 1, 2, 3, 4 jhana. Let's say you can able to meditate until 1, 2, 3, 4 jhana. And then you are familiarized with all the 4 of them. Very good at all the 4 of them. So which rebirth are you going to take place? Which rebirth are you going to take place? Is it that it's going to take 1, or is it 2, or 3, or 4? Some may think that since you are meditating under the 4th jhana, then most probably you were reborn in the 4th jhana, 4th plane, the 4th jhana plane, because that's the highest. Well, I think so. I perhaps lah, it may be true for this one. After all, we are not dead yet. After all, we are not reborn there yet. If you go and meditate, maybe you will know. You will know. But there is another way. Another way means that if you got 1, 2, 3, 4 jhana, and which one do you prefer? Sometimes some people prefer the third jhana or the second jhana or the first jhana. Although he can able to good at all the four, but he's more inclined to that particular jhana. So when he inclined into that particular jhana, he meditated on that particular jhana for a longer period of time. And because of the inclination of that mind to that jhana, then he reborn in that jhana, in that plane of that jhana. Although he may have a higher jhana. So this is again, to me, it is again a theory. We are not really sure and so on because it's all mentioned in the books only. So if you really want to know, you go and meditate yourself. You go and meditate yourself, and then you die, you become Brahma. You go and become Brahma, and then you come and let us know. So this is something on the jhana. All right. Okay. Now, samatha jhana here, they are, in a way, if you can have the time to do it, to develop them, then it's wonderful. But the thing is that we do not know how much time do we have. How much time do you have? You don't know when you're going to die. So a lot of times, when, as I said, when you want to develop these two paths, vipassana path, samatha path, because of you do not know when you're going to die, you do not know when you can able to attain even the first jhana also. Then again, as I say, my thing is my advice is this: you practice the vipassana first. You practice the vipassana first until the first jhana. Then after that, practice until the first enlightenment. You practice until the first enlightenment. Then after that, you can go and play with all the jhana, whatever jhana that you want. Then if you want to play with the jhana, well and good, fine, no problem. At least you are safe in a certain sense. But if the Buddha is here, if you can have the first enlightenment, then he says that why bother about all the jhana? You might as well go all the way until arahantship. Why wait? Then again, the Buddha may say that you may not have all those time again. Then it's better to finish everything if the Buddha is here. But sometimes we want to change to a samatha and so on. Not to say it's wrong, but whether you have, sometimes we do not know how much time we have in this life. Now again, also another thing is that sometimes you are also, when you're out there, there are many yogis or many teachers, and they have a lot of idea about this samatha and vipassana, and they say that, oh, if you don't have samatha meditation, then all your vipassana is wrong. All your enlightenment is wrong. All your insight is wrong. Then also there's again misunderstanding of this mental development. Misunderstanding, and there's a lot out there. There's a lot out there. Now, in the beginning when I was practicing, also, I also get enticed with this samatha practice also. Although my vipassana is going on quite well, but of course, once in a while, we also get enticed with this samatha thing and so on. Then I was thinking to myself, since vipassana is still moving, is still going on, I was thinking, don't go and shake the boat, go and rock the boat, and then when you go and change something else, try to, let's say, try to finish the samatha, try to finish the vipassana first, then we see lah, see whether anything there or not, after that. And then this is my way, although the samatha is all around me, but I don't get enticed into it, because still trust in the vipassana, because the vipassana is still able to develop. So a lot of time people talk about all this samatha and vipassana and what is this and what is not. Sometimes I got very hard for me to go and argue with them, and I avoid all this argument. I don't go into all this argument, because I've seen the practice myself. I know the practice myself, and I teach whatever that I able to know, to all of you. And also those that what I taught also, I followed what the teachers, the proper teachers of the past are talking, Then I followed them, I tried it myself, I see it for myself, then only I can able to teach. But sometimes I hear out there, and many of you are influenced by all these things, all these jhana, and especially those like influenced by these supernormal powers that just now we talked about. Some of them, some yogis are really xiao one, xiao ga everything. Want to be all this power. Meditate, I want to be past life liao, bante. Meditate, what be supernormal power liao. Meditate, tampo. A little bit only they want this supernormal power and this thing. Then after that they say, if your vipassana you don't have all this past life thing, then all your vipassana is wrong. Not necessary. So a lot of times yogis are out there, you practice a little bit of vipassana, but out there when you're not practicing, you are influenced by all kinds of people, all kinds of meditators, all kinds of teachers. Then we can understand that. Sometimes once in a while, I meet with some of the past yogis that I've seen them. Then after that, they don't come back, they don't see them, then they go and practice all kinds of samatha and all kinds of it. The problem is that practicing samatha is not to say that you are wrong, but the problem is that when it becomes calm and the craving and the attachment to the calmness that comes in, that is where it's difficult to undo, because it's so nice compared to vipassana. Before that, vipassana, when you're practicing, is pain here, pain there, pain everywhere, headache here, tension there, walking also tension here, also very difficult. Then go into samatha, it's so nice, it's so cooling, it's so peaceful in the mind. Who don't want, So that's why it's difficult to pull a person out or make them realize that sometimes those attachments can be very strong, and once they are strong, it's hard for them to come out of it. So if you want to practice samatha, not to say cannot, but as I said, that if your vipassana is still going very well, then continue with the vipassana as much as possible. Then if you find that your vipassana is not going so well, then you can try a little bit of samatha. Now, there's the next thing is that while you are here, we don't have much retreat right now. Maybe we do not even know whether this year we're going to have any retreat or not. Again, you are at home trying to meditate. Now, you're at home and you try to meditate. Of course, you are not able to do like a retreat like in the retreat. So at home, when you are meditate, you can try a bit of samatha also. It's okay. Not to say cannot. As long as you don't attach to it. You don't attach to all the calmness. Then after that, you practice for a while, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, let's say, daily. Then after that, you want to change to vipassana, also can, no problem. But if you find that on this time, your vipassana is going well, and then don't shake the boat, don't rock the boat, then just carry on, also can. So this is some of the things that I like to on this samatha thing. Now, I was thinking of talking about momentary concentration already, although I already prepared some of the, wait now, let me exit for a while. Let me see, what do I have for momentary concentration? Okay. Before we go, I think I don't have much time I don't think I want to talk about it that much. But before we go on this momentary concentration, maybe I share a little bit on what, for you to go and think about it. And then Wednesday, we are going to talk more about it. I want to close this one. Okay. Oh, no. Sorry. Hold on. Hold on. Wait. Can you see Vipassana concentration? Is it? Are you seeing Vipassana concentration? Okay. All right. Okay. Now, before we go for tonight talk, the day I mentioned already, Vipassana concentration, you have preliminary concentration is before the first insight knowledge, and then you have momentary concentration, first to 13th insight, and then you have fixed concentration. This is where the path and friction. This is just now the earlier part where we're talking about those things. All right. In the momentary concentration, again, Mahasi Sayadaw break it down into basic, intermediate, advanced. There you can see the first to the third insight. First to the third insight here. Text if third insight. Okay. Then you have this one. Now, the thing is that on momentary concentration is mentioned in the commentary of Visuddhimagga. We'll just touch on this a little bit. Then on Wednesday, we're going to explain a little bit more, because if you were to just read this, many of you will not be able to understand about what is momentary concentration. In the commentary to the Visuddhimagga, in the explanation of the chapter relating to mindfulness of breathing, it is said thus: momentary unification of mind means the concentration of mind lasting only for a moment. For that type of concentration, too, when it occurs uninterruptedly, when it occurs uninterruptedly with its respective object in a single mode and is not overcome by opposition, fixes the mind immovably as if in absorption. This is the description of momentary concentration. So you may not know what is it talking about. You may not know what is it talking about, but many times in the past Dhamma talks, not maybe a little bit here in the past few talks, I think I forgot already which talk. But during the retreat, I talk about momentary concentration in a more easier manner for you to understand, and it all incorporate all these things inside there. But this is where what is mentioned in mentioned in the commentaries. But the thing is that many of us may not be able to understand. But we're going to talk about it a little bit more for this momentary concentration, because tonight I don't think I have time to go and explain it too much. So we're going to stop here for tonight. We're going to stop here for tonight, and we're going to continue this momentary concentration on the Wednesday. Okay? All right. So, okay, we share merits.